It's good to see everybody tonight. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about sales, the first part of trading, and observations that I have the opportunity to make talking to people over the phone and consulting and helping them. Let me turn this off. And then I'm going to show you a couple of new things in the control panel, and we'll close with that. Can everyone see my screen? Everyone should be able to see the Appwizard Studio screen. Getting a full house tonight. How's everybody doing? Good, good, good. Awesome, awesome. Hey, Martha, how are you doing? So I take it you're with family. You are back up north. Bless your heart. Okay, let's get started. First and foremost, you'll have to excuse me. I am losing my voice. I've been recording for like 2 days straight. Welcome, everybody, to our Wednesday night training. It's always good to be here, presented by the Appwizard Studio team. We're going to talk about a little bit about sales tonight and closing. And we're going to talk about call to actions. And we all have seen call to actions. We talk about call to actions when it comes to our mobile web apps, and we talk about call to actions when it comes to our websites, and we don't ever talk about a call to action for sales. And you know, that call to action, that close, is what puts money in your pocket. And if you cannot close, if you do not have that big red button stamped on your forehead that says buy now, you have a tough time in sales. And fortunately or unfortunately, that's just the way it is. But we're going to talk about that tonight, and maybe we can give you some pointers. And if anybody can chime in during the training tonight on some sales techniques, some closes that you use. There's one thing I've been very blessed with, that's the ability to close. Always have had the ability to close, and I'm very fortunate in that, because I'm not afraid to ask for the sale, because I know if I don't ask for the sale, I go hungry. So let's get started here. First and foremost, let's take care of the housekeeping. If you have not joined, join facebook.com/groups/AWS Mastermind. I had about 6 people join in the past couple of weeks, and I've not let them in because I'm not sure if they are or they not new Appwizard people, Appwizard Studio people. But if you happen to join and I don't let you in, please just email me at Kerry@appwizardstudio.com. Kerry@appwizardstudio.com. It's Kerry @appwizardstudio.com. Just say, hey, I'm trying to get in the group. I can't get in. This is what I signed in as, and this is who I am. So for some reason, a lot of people don't use their picture on Facebook, and they don't use their name on Facebook. And so I'm not really sure who you are, but I would love for you to be a part of the Facebook group, because there's so much information and so much training that comes through that group. And it's very important that you continually train yourself and educate yourself in order to be successful. You know, with education comes success. And it doesn't have to be an education at a college. Just educate yourself in the field of reference that you're in. And if you have not joined our YouTube channel, join our YouTube channel. Hang on, I can get the link for that real quick. Throw that up in there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. A lot of people watch training on YouTube instead of coming to the group here at night. And for whatever reason, which is absolutely fine. Now, I do not monitor the YouTube channel. I see sometimes that I ask if anybody's got a question. And so if you're watching right now on YouTube, and you have a question, you type it in that question box. I don't monitor that. I only monitor the Zoom channel. I'm pretty, I can do multiple. I'm pretty good at multitasking, but not that good. And so I don't watch that at the same time. So, but join our YouTube channel. It's a great place to be. That's where all of our training goes immediately, even as training's going on. Real quick disclaimer, Appwizard Studio nor I cannot guarantee just because you're watching training You will make any sales, create any traffic, or increase your income. Every person is different, has different work ethics and different desires. And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight, that different work ethic and different desire, and what it takes to make a sale. I've had probably 20 phone calls in the last 2 weeks talking about sales and going out. And you know, the number one question is always, Kerry, what do I have to do to make sales? And then when we start talking, it's very evident that the one thing you have to do to make a sale is, what's my famous words? Get off your butt and go make a sale. You know, you got to go out and talk to people. I've not found it easy to sell mobile web apps, mobile business cards online. I've not hit that magic button yet. I've tried numerous times. Now, I have made sales online, but not enough to sustain a full-time business. So, you know, if you're going to sit there and say, well, I'll just get it all online, it just doesn't work that way. Not when you have a product that someone has to see, feel, and touch. And buying something like that is an emotional product. I mean, we know we buy a lot of digital stuff online, right? We buy a lot of the JV stuff. I just bought that video robot the other day online and wasted $27, I think. But some people like it, some people don't, and I'm one of them that don't. But you know, we spend money online, and sometimes we get what we want, sometimes we don't get what we want. But the worst thing about that is you buy from somebody that you have no emotional connection to. So if it's a bad experience, or maybe not even a bad experience, but if it's an experience that you have no direct contact with somebody, and maybe it wasn't the experience that you wanted, you're probably not going to buy anything else from that person. And the one thing that sustains us in business and that drives our business, that drives our paychecks, Jerry said video robot's okay for training. And I kind of messed with it for 15 minutes. But it is, you know, I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's good for a lot of things. The learning curve was too steep for me. I can't handle things that's got a learning curve. But, you know, it's your work ethic is who you are. And you have to have the drive and the determination to get out there and make a living. I want you to think about something for a moment. Now, some of you on this call have other JOBs. So you have things that sustain you, okay? And sometimes that's probably our biggest crutch that keeps us from building a real business, is that we have that JOB. And I'm not telling you to quit your job, because next week you'll tell me I told you to quit your job, and you're going to ask me for a sandwich or something. You're going to ask me to send you a sack lunch. And I would. But, you know, when we have a crutch, when we're standing on something and we're allowing it to prop us up, it keeps us from really diving in and doing the things that we have to do, like closing. It stops us. You know, we go out and we meet people and we're all excited. And I cannot tell you the number of times I get calls and it's, oh man, I talked to such and such today, and boy, it was so good. And they're going to buy 3 apps. And my question is always, what do you mean they're going to buy? They were that excited. They were ready to pull the trigger. You walked out of there excited, and you walked out of there as broke as you were when you went in, because you didn't walk out with any money. And 9 out of 10 times, you're still seeing the disclaimer screen. I haven't moved yet. Now I'm still talking about work ethic. So boggle in on these 2 words right here. I'm talking about work ethic and desire to make a living. So you walk out of there excited. Okay. You walk out of there excited, but guess what? You still didn't make a stinking sale. You didn't walk out with anything. If customers are excited, as people tell me their customers or potential customers are, and you didn't walk out without a check in your pocket or a deposit for what you're about to do, then guess what? It's not a sale. It's still just a conversation. And so I've been asked this question, and I'm going to surprise you at the end of this. I've been asked this question about 20 times, and I actually got this in my email this morning. And I was looking at different things, and I will go ahead and tell everybody. And I've had people tell me, they're sick of hearing about Zig Ziglar, and they tell Woodrow they're sick about hearing Zig Ziglar and me talk about Zig Ziglar. But I'm going to tell you right now, if it wasn't for Zig Ziglar, I wouldn't be the salesman that I am today. And I could promise you I'm very successful at what I do. So, and he's all about closing. And when I went to Navy recruiting school, everything about Navy recruiting, you think selling a mobile web app's hard. Go sell somebody getting on a ship and spending 6 months out at sea. Go see how hard that is. So it's all about closing. It's all about closing the deal. And I don't care if you're selling pencils. I don't care if you're selling a PDF magazine. I don't care what you're selling. If you do not close and you do not get them to write a check and you do not get a deposit from them, and they're as excited as you say they are, then you did not put the big red button on the forehead of your body that says buy now. How many of you, when you go online, you're watching a webinar, okay? And at the end of that webinar, they have a what? They have a close, and it's usually a very long close, like maybe 20 or 30 minutes. I mean, it's almost like the entire webinar all over again, but it's simply stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking benefits and stacking features and stacking benefits and stacking features. And this is why you should buy this. And they keep coming up with that big button that says buy right now. And they're constantly sending you a link that says buy right now, buy right now, buy right now. And you know what happens? People start clicking that link. You start clicking that link. I mean, Jerry Dietrich and I, we clicked that link that bought that product, and against my own best will, I still bought that product because the call to action was so good. And the benefits that they showed and all the stuff that I saw was so good. And I'm here to tell you something. Your product that you walk out on that street with every single day, if you're walking out on the street, if you're getting off your butt and going out on the street, if your product is as exciting as you tell me that person was, and you're not closing, you do not have that big red buy button, and you did not tell them to buy. You did not mention a close. You did not tell them why they needed your product today. You did not ask them for a deposit. Hey, Rick, this is what we need to do to get started today. It's going to be $99 down, and it's going to be $99 when I deliver. So you can make that check out to Rick Farrington. Awesome, dude. Thanks, man. Let's get started. You see, if I didn't do that, if I was just sitting there showing this amazing product and this person is so excited, he's about to pee on himself and he's sitting there dancing around and he's just so ready to go. And I don't say, hey, Rick, and I say, you know what? I'll be back next week to stop in and see how you're doing. And you know what you just did? You just took all the air out of the cell. You just removed yourself from the cell. And you know what that guy's thinking? And then when you walk out that door, he's thinking this to himself. Their product must not have been as good as they thought it was, because he never once asked me if I wanted it. And I can tell you, I promise you. Let me read what Rick just put up there. My sister had an issue with the opening and what to say and creating the first contact. Today, she was out asking store owners to hang a flyer for a nonprofit that she volunteers for. While she was in the store, she used Carrie's opening, how's business? She's being relaxed, and the store owner, more relaxed, allowed her to set 3 appointments today. I've used that all my entire life. I've used it since I was, 15 years old when I started in direct sales. How's business? And my grandfather taught me that. My grandfather said that's the greatest opening phrase in the world, because you're asking them about themselves and you're asking them about their number one passion, their business, their baby, something they put their entire life into. And that's the reason I use that phrase. And I've always used it. And as Rick said, it works. So you've got to start doing this, and you've got to start doing this tomorrow. Number one, you got to start getting out. Okay. You have to start getting out, and you've got to start closing the deal. So let's talk about closing real quick. First off, your apps look great. You know, even apps that may not be perfectly color coordinated, or maybe the header image isn't perfectly fit, and maybe the buttons aren't sized correctly, or whatever it is that you don't think you're good at, your apps still look 2,000% better than everything out there that's being sold on the streets. And don't try to make it look good by using someone else's stuff. Use your stuff and practice and get it down, because what you have looks amazing. You can simply use the templates, and I don't care if you leave it black and white. I personally love grayscale. I'm a grayscale person. If I could live in a grayscale house, I would. If my color was grayscale and my clothes were grayscale, I'd be the happiest person in the world. But it's not. And but those apps look, yeah, my hair is grayscale. Thank you. The apps look amazing. All you have to do is use the templates. Don't try, if you're struggling to build an app, don't try to adjust anything. Use the app as it is and change the colors of the buttons. That's all you have to do. Yes, I can. I'll do that next week. I will take a template next week, and in 15 minutes have the entire app built. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and have the images done, but yeah, I'll bring the paint, you bring the food, and I'm going to show you in 15 minutes, or probably less, 15 minutes because I'm on training, how to take that one template and, as Jerry says, throw some paint on it, and it's going to look absolutely amazing. And you don't have to touch anything. You don't have to adjust anything. You don't have to move anything. You don't have to do anything. You can literally take, how many times have I done that on training? Oh, about 1,000. But you can literally take that. What I will show you next week, training could literally be 15 minutes next week. You can take that next week, and your apps will look absolutely amazing. I promise you. You don't have to do it. Yes, I will do it. I won't forget. I promise I will do that. I will put that at the top of the list next week. You spend all this time building that good looking app, and you're tweaking it and making sure everything flows properly. You check every button, making sure that the phone numbers work, making sure that the email's in there. You go back and you look at it and make sure that you say, man, the header looks good. The buttons look good. I'm ready to walk out and strut my stuff and sell this product. You're out talking to people, and you're getting great comments, but you're not converting. People are practically throwing themselves at your feet because they want you. Believe it or not, they want your product. They need your product. Mobile business cards, mobile web apps, every business wants them. You just have to get in front of them. They may not want it today. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I go out and close every customer I talk to. Some days it's 30%, some days it's 60%, some days it's 0%. And usually when it's 0%, it's because my attitude is not even with my altitude. You know, I'm walking on the bottom when I should be walking on the top where my brain is. So, you know, you got to align those two things. So there are bad days and good days, and I understand that. But if you're out there talking to people and you're in the groove, you can feel it. You know, how many of you feel it when you're in a good sales mood? Everybody just throw a yes up there that knows how to type in the comments. How many of you feel it when you walk out there and you say, gosh, man, I feel it. Yeah. Neil raises his head. He says, absolutely. You know, how many of you feel it when you go out there? And it's the best feeling in the world. It's like being a quarterback of a Super Bowl team. You know, you're fixing to go out and win the game. And you're cocky. And there's nothing wrong with being a little bit cocky, and there's nothing wrong with being a little bit arrogant, because you know you are on your game and you're fixing to go out and close those deals, you know. And then you get out there and you hit your first 2 or 3 sales, and the people are just literally drooling over top of you, but you're not converting. It just doesn't happen, you know. And perhaps your visitors are having a hard time understanding how to get your product because there isn't a clear call to action button. They simply don't know where to click. They don't see that big red buy now button. Okay. They don't see that place to click and pay. And they don't see that because you never took them there. You never tell them that this is what they have to, from the time we were a child to where we are today, we've always been selling. We sell ourselves and we always ask for the close in our daily lives, whether you believe it or not. How many of you used to ask your mom for cookies? And when she said no, and you was hungry for that cookie, you wanted that double stuffed Oreo cookie so that you could twist it apart and grind that white soft center against your teeth, and you just clean it off of there. And it's the best thing in the world. And you want it so bad. You just can't stand it. I mean, you literally can't stand not having that cookie. So next thing you know, you go into, I'm fixing to go into, I'm a butthead mode. And you start pitching a little fit. And then you get smacked a couple of times and you think, gosh, that didn't work. And you go in your room because you got put in your room, but you still want that nice creamy middle to rake it off on them teeth and sit there and taste that sweet sugar. And then you eat those cookies. And now you're thinking, I know what I got to do. I got to go in there and close this deal. Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to act like that. I didn't mean to do that. All I wanted was a cookie. I sure do love you, Mom. And I know I'm probably not going to get a cookie right now. But when I'm allowed to have one, if you would give me one, I would appreciate it. And lo and behold, it's like the sky opened up and bam, cookies started falling out of heaven. And she reaches up and she gives you 3 or 4 cookies. Now you are in cream mental heaven. I mean, you can rake off that middle off on your teeth forever. How many of you done that? How many on this call right now has done that in your life? There's not a soul on here that has not been in that position. And you know what you did? You didn't close it on the first time, but you said, man, everybody's saying they're drooling. I hear you. Hey, that was a pretty good sales job when them cookies did it, but here we go, and we sit there, we say, you know what? I just closed that deal. So I know next time not to be a butthead. I'm going to go in and be the sweet little thing that my mama wants me to be. And I'm going to get what I want every time. Sales today is the exact same way. Somebody says, I met with a rug cleaner last week. He did not buy, but he's still interested. He is struggling because he fears new technology. And I'm fixing to answer that question before I move on. After answering each of his questions during our appointment, I tried to close him with, let's get the process started. Okay. And that's about halfway there. This is how you close that deal. Rick, let me ask you a question. What is your real concern? I mean, technology is what it is today. You know that everybody walks in your door with a phone. You know that you're going to be able to share this with everybody you see because they've got a phone. And not only that, they're going to be able to share that. So Rick, let me ask you a question. What is your real concern? Because I've answered every one of your questions. Deep down, what is your real concern? Man, I just don't know if I can afford it. Well, man, I wish you'd have said that to begin with, because let me tell you, today, you're going to write me a check for $99, and that's going to be the setup fee. And when I deliver this, exactly what you want, in 2 days, in 48 hours, I will walk back in your office. You're going to be required to give me another check for $99. And then it's going to be $29 a month. And I'm going to teach you and show you how to use this device to increase your footfall in your store, which increases your return on investment on this product where it absolutely pays for itself. So what we need to do today, Rick, is you need to break out that checkbook and you need to wrap me that check for $99. End of conversation. End of conversation. Now, if he still says no, there's still a reason. There's still a question that's not answered. Anytime a customer says no, there is a reason in their mind that is keeping them from pulling the trigger. And you just have to keep asking, just supposing for a moment, Rick, that that's not a concern. Then in your opinion, do you feel like this product that I have before you will help you increase your business, increase your return on investment, and this product will be paid for? Yeah, absolutely. Then Rick, what is it? What is it that's keeping you from purchasing this product today? And I know what you're saying. You're sitting there thinking, gosh, man, I don't want to hound somebody. Let me tell you something. If you got a car payment, a house payment, a mortgage payment, whatever they call it, you got kids in college, you got things to do. I had the best comeback from Chicago a couple of days ago that I've ever heard. I got to get busy now because I done spent too much money and I kind of make it up, And the person told me, he said, you know what? I just put pressure on myself. He said, and I will make it happen because I got to make the money, But there's always an underlying problem is the reason people don't buy. A lot of that problem is, and I don't know if you ask him to write you a check or not, but I am not afraid to ask a man to write me a check. Not at all. I've asked people for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. That doesn't bother me a bit. Write the check. And because I've got to go home and eat. And when you look at it that way, when you look at that close as, am I going home tonight and eating a New York strip? Or am I going home tonight and eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And you really want that New York strip? You'll ask for that check. I promise you. I guarantee it. There's no question. Ask for the sale. You're asking the qualifying questions. You're doing the close. They keep saying no. You just have to go for the juggler and ask for the sale. Rick, I'm ready to get started today. It's $99 down and $99 when I bring it back. You can make the check out to Rick Farrington, hand him a pencil, and if he takes the pencil, he's going to write the check. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And then shut your mouth. Don't say no more. Put a clamp on your lips and don't talk anymore. In tonight's training, we're going to look at some real life examples, and we were already talking about them. I appreciate you guys that are posting in the group because those are real life examples. I mean, that's a man that's on the streets that just went through, he talked to a guy. He spent all the time with him. He was very interested. Let me ask you a question, Rick. Was he excited about the product or was he listening to you? See, there's a difference and you have to learn those buying signals. But we're going to look at some real life examples and I'm going to share some stories that I hear every day. And hopefully you'll be able to take some nuggets and apply them to your own sales strategies. First off, what's a call to action? Can somebody in the group there just simply tell me what is a call to action? In 4 or 5 words, if everybody can type it, it doesn't matter. But what is a call to action? We see them every day. We talk about them on training. We talk about it when we build our mobile web apps, right? We say, okay, take the button bar, getting them to do something. Tell them the next step you expect them to take. Absolutely. And you know what? It may not be getting a check today. And that's a very good point. I mean, your call to action today may be just taking them to the next step. And you're not going to get to the final step today because why? I've got to ask my wife. I got to ask my husband. I got to ask my partner, But when that happens, it's always this, okay? This is going to be our call to action. Our call to action, if they say, well, I got to talk to somebody. Well, Kenny, let me ask you a question. If Rick had nothing to do with this, if Rick didn't have to be a part of the decision, would you be ready to make a decision today? Oh, absolutely. You got your 50% in. When can I sit down and talk to Kenny? Next week. Awesome. I'll be here. And now you got to go close Kenny. Okay. You may have to do a double close. You're going to have to walk through the same thing. And we made a sale 2 or 3 weeks ago. The son was very excited and actually wrote the check. And the father called who actually owned the business and said, I want my money back. I don't want this. And so the son didn't tell us there was another party involved. Okay. He was the close. He wrote the check. And we explained to him, we don't give refunds, and we've already built the product and you've already received the product. But then when we went back, we said, but we want to stop by and talk to you and tell you why this is good for your business. And when we did that, you know what? The father that didn't want to pay us a check, he bought some more stuff from us. He bought some more product from us. I mean, he was kind of like Rick's guy. He just didn't understand technology. But when he understood technology, he added some beacons to the match. And so it worked out really well. But a call to action is simply this. It tells your clients what to do, how they can purchase, and what to buy. You're telling them what to do, what to purchase, and how to buy. If you don't tell them how to buy, they're not going to jump across that desk, give you a big hug and kiss, and write you a check and say, hey, take this because you didn't ask for it. I've never had that happen in all my years. I'm 57, 58 years old now. I've never had somebody do that in 58 years. Never. I've been selling since I was 15. Actually, that story about the cookies, that was probably me every other day. It's what lights a path to getting them to break out a payment, to reach down and get that checkbook and write you a check. And you tell them exactly what to put on there, and turns a potential into a customer as quickly as possible. You have to ask for the sale. You have to. Your purpose of being there is to give them a great value. And how many of you think that we give great value? How many of you feel that when you walk into a business that you're bringing them great value? Anybody here? Is there anybody here that feels like what they have, what they're taking to their customer, to their potential customer, that what you walk in with is great value? Yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't be selling it otherwise, right? I mean, if you didn't believe in it, I'm going to tell you now, never sell something you don't believe in. Never, ever, ever sell something you don't believe in. Because if you don't believe in it, no, you're never going to get somebody else to believe in it. It's not going to happen. The most obvious example of a call to action is buy now. Rick, this is what we need to do. Here's the contract. Press hard, 3 copies. Or Rick, here's the pen. I need a check for $99. Press hard. That way you make sure you get to the carbon paper underneath, and your wife can put it in a checkbook, because I know you're not going to. Make a joke out of it. Banter with them. People love that. People love somebody that's a normal person. Don't go in there all stiff and all salesy, but go in there and say, hey, Rick, this is what we need right now. I need that check for $99, and I can have this back to you in 48 hours. You know what's going to happen? 9 times out of 10, they're going to reach down, pick up that pen. They're going to write you a check. Why? Because you already excited them. You told them all the features, right? And all the benefits of everything that you have. They know exactly what you've got. They know exactly what you can do for them, and they know what you can do for them in the future. Because your job is there to do what? What's our number one job when we walk into a customer's store? When we walk into a business? Does anybody know what our number one job is when we walk into a customer store? Or get them talking. That's part of it. Get them talking. That's right. To help them increase their sales, to let them know that you're there to help them. That's it. That's what we're there for. I don't care if you walked in there with a pan and a spoon, and you told them that if they would go stand out on the corner on their head and take that pan and bang the bottom of it with their spoon, if you know for a fact that would create footfall into their business and increase their traffic and create a great return on their investment, and you knew that worked, then you go in there and you sell them a pan and a spoon. And before you leave, you go stand out on that corner on top of your head and you bang that spoon on that pan, and you bring footfall traffic into their business. And you tell them that it's going to cost them $99, and it's going to cost you $99 when you bring his pan and spoon back. You see, it doesn't matter what we have in our possession, that you have to ask them to buy now. You have to have that big red button stamped right on your forehead. I used to get tickled with Will Sims. I used to tell him all the time, put a sticker on his forehead and look at it in the mirror. And he used to tell me he used to tell me he'd stick it on the back of his wife's head so he could see it as she's walking through the house, you know. So keep that in front of you, okay? I mean, keep that. Yeah, Cal Worthington was great, man. He was always riding in on cows and elephants and all kind of stuff, you know. I mean, he was the greatest salesman in the world, you know, and it was always humorous and it was always great. But you've got to put that big buy button right in front of them, okay? You've got to. There's no definitive answer on which call to action to use. You're not going to use the same call to action I use. I just come right out and ask for the check. Hey, Rick, it's going to be $99 today and $99 when I deliver. If you'll just sign right here and write me a check, we're good to go. That's pretty much my close. Because when I see that they're ready to buy, I go straight for it. I don't wait. I quit talking. I quit selling. You know, sometimes we oversell. Sometimes we just keep selling. We don't have to do that. So there's no definitive way for me to tell you how to go out and close. You know, what phrase to use, what styling to use. I can promise you, you do not talk like me. I was talking to a guy today from Israel, and he did not know where I was from, and I was doing a favor for a friend. I was actually closing this guy for a friend of mine. And the first question after I said 5 words, he said, "What part of Texas are you from?" You know, and I just died laughing. I said, "Yeah." I said, "You probably don't speak to too many Texans, do you?" He said, "Nope." He said, "But what I do," he said, "I could tell immediately." He said, "I could talk to Texans all day long." He said, "Because then I got to go find a dictionary to find out what you really said." And it's true. You know, you don't talk like I do. And believe it or not, when I talk to people up north, I close a lot of deals because I talk like the way I do. But I can't help it the way I talk. I can't change that. I've been doing it for 58 years, you know. But then you got to figure out what works best for you. You know, I don't speak New Yorkese. And I'm not going to be somebody I'm not. I want to sell the way I sell. And I don't care if I'm in New York or in New Jersey or Chicago or LA. I'm going to ask for the close the same way. So it's important to always test. Write down your closes when you walk out of a building. Write them down what you said. Okay. Sit down in your car. I don't care if you put a little, I think it was Mike Cahill that had a walkie-talkie thing in his pocket, or I mean, not a walkie-talkie, a recorder in his pocket. And he was taking notes and he left it on, and he actually was out making a sale on the Home Depot parking lot to a contractor. So we were able to hear bits and pieces of his sale on his little walkie-talkie. So if you've got one of those little walkie-talkies you can put in your pocket and you can record, or take your phone and put in your pocket and just hit record when you start talking, or hit it right after you showed him everything and stick it in your, okay, it was his phone, and stick it in your pocket, record it. Go buy a $39 little handheld recorder at Walmart and stick it in your pocket and have it on all the time. And then evaluate yourself, or maybe call somebody you know and let them listen to it. Put it in the group, you know, make an MP3 out of it, put it in the group and say, "Hey guys, could everybody critique this?" And don't be upset when somebody critiques you. You know, I have people call me and they say, "Hey, could you tell me what I'm doing wrong?" And then when I tell them what they're doing wrong, it pisses them off. You know, and I'm like, you ask, I'm not going to lie to you. I want to help you, you know, and it's just, so don't get upset if somebody says, "Hey, you really should have done this and not done this," because if that person doesn't tell you that, then they're lying to you and you're never going to get better. So, you know, optimize and test with other people. I used to sit down with my wife all the time. It drove her crazy. And I'd say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And she said, you sound too stiff. So I would put a little bit of a character in it. You know, she said, "That's getting better." She said, but you never smile when you talk." And so I would start smiling when I talk, and she would literally bring out my problem with me. And she, of course, when you're around your wife for 30 years, I mean, they pretty much know you inside and out, and they know when you're being real and you're not being real. So get with somebody that knows you're real and not being real, and test and optimize your close. How many of you build websites? How many of you build sales sites? How many of you build funnel pages? How many of you of you run ads on Facebook? How many of you do AdWords? How many of you do some type of marketing other than going out and selling mobile apps? Anybody here? Maybe you're selling videos to clients, or you're putting them up, and you're trying to drive them up the video chain to number one on YouTube and number one on Google. You know, you have to test and optimize, right? You usually don't get it right on the first time. You read it and it looks good, and tomorrow you go back and look at it and you have to change the text because you're like, that don't even make sense to me. And then you have somebody else read it and they say, no, that doesn't make sense at all. What was you doing? Hanging out with Jerry Dietrich. I was hanging out with Jerry Dietrich eating pastrami sandwiches, and it kind of messed up my brain, you know? So constantly test and constantly optimize. And when you start getting it down, lock it in. Don't change it. We have such a terrible, because we're human, we have such a terrible habit of changing things. Don't change it. I know I do it all the time. I ask myself, gosh, man, why did I change what I normally do? And I'd have got the sale. And I walk out of there and I don't get the sale. And I can tell you exactly what I did wrong. You know, so when I go make the next sale, I make sure don't make that stupid mistake again, because you want to eat a T-bone steak tonight, you know. But you've got to get it down, and it's got to be you. It can't be me. I can sit here and talk every Wednesday night. I can show you how to build apps. I can do all of that, but it's all about you. I put a post in the group the other day. Nobody else can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. You have to create your own style. You have to be yourself. You have to create your own phrasing. You have to do all of that. Be yourself. Don't try to be nobody else. You know, I don't want to be Zig Ziglar. I want to be Kerry Miller. I want people to remember Kerry Miller. I don't want them to remember Zig. And I learned just about everything I know from Zig Ziglar. But I don't want to be him. You know, a while ago I used just supposing for a moment. You know, that's a Zig Ziglar phrase. And that's just part of my conversation. Keep track of different closes. Narrow it down. Record them. Everybody in here, if you don't have a recorder, you don't use your phone to record, and you shouldn't be using your phone. You should be having your phone in your hand showing your product, right? You should really have a different device to record on. Narrow it down and tweak your phrasing. Maybe you constantly say something dumb, you know, or some word that they don't understand, or some word that don't make any sense, but it's a habit word. You know, it's a habit word. And my cousin, she was like 2 years old, and her mother said the SHIT word a lot, and everything was that, but it was I call it a byword. She didn't mean anything nasty by it. It was just, that's what she always said. And she had said it her whole life. And we were at her house one day, and this was years ago. Her daughter's grown now, but every time she did something, she'd stump her toe, she'd fall off the couch, she'd trip, she would say that word. And it was like just habit, you know. So break that habit, find out what the words are, and then sit there and perfect them and work on them and make it better, you know, and just keep doing it because it's going to work. How many of you understand urgency? How many of you understand what urgency means? And they've got to buy it now. How many of you know what the word scarcity means? Scarcity means if you don't do it today, we're going to take it away. And people ask me all the time, well, I don't know what to charge for this. Never charge so low, okay? Never charge so low that you're not going to make money, but always drop your price enough where you're going to make the sale. Does everybody understand what I just said? Never drop the price so low. Never, ever give anything away that you're not going to make money on in the long run. You may give them a great price today, and you would have normally did it for like 2 times or 3 times that price. But today only, and I just saw somebody put that in the group there, today only, that's a call to action. Hey, Martha, today and today only, I can do it at this price. After today, we're not doing it at this price anymore. If you call me tomorrow when I walk back in your door because you slept on it tonight, it's going to be this price. Don't ever do that. When you tell somebody, the worst thing you can do, take this from someone who learned the hard way. If you tell somebody it's this price and this price today only, and they call you tomorrow and they say, you know what, Carrie, I'll do it if you can give me that same price for you get, I'm sorry, I can't do that. You know, we have a certain budget, and there's certain times a month that I'm able to do things in my budget and give deals like that. You know, sales we're at this spot, and we're able to give some deals like that to our clients. But that was yesterday. Today's a new day. It's a different budget. It's a different situation. So I cannot do it. But I'll be more than happy to give you the same great value, the same great service for this price. Do not compromise yourself. I'll tell you a quick story. I went out and I sold a guy, and the full ticket was about $2,200. And he was hee-hawing around, and it was my last deal for the day, and I wanted to close the deal, and I wanted to get it out of the way. And I said, I tell you what I'll do. If you do it today, I'll do it for half price. And it was about $1,100 or something like that. And I kicked myself in the butt for even allowing it to come out of my mouth, because I do not like doing that. But I wanted to sell. It was one of those days I wanted to sell. I had to have a sale. It was, you know, it was a feel-good thing for me. And he said, well, I tell you what, after I did that, he said, let me think about it. The next morning he called me and said, I tell you what, Kerry, I'll do it right now for $1,100. I did it for $1,100. 2 days later, a friend of his called me. He said, hey, I want the same deal that you gave Jeffrey. I said, what deal did I give Jeffrey? He said, you sold him this package for $1,100. I said, well, that was a special deal that day. 2 more people called me that day for the same deal. And because I compromised with Jeffrey, I felt obligated to do it for them. Why? Because I let my own values go to pot. I let myself compromise myself. And I did not want it to get out that I was that person. I'm the one that compromised. They didn't. They took advantage of the opportunity, but I'm the one that compromised. If I'd have told him the next day, Jeffrey, I'm not going to make that deal, this is the price, he'd have probably still bought because he wanted it. But look what happened. I lost a lot of money. I made 4 deals at $1,100, and it was supposed to be $2,200. So what? I don't know how much that is, $4,400 or something that I lost. And that's a lot of money. When shoppers feel an opportunity is limited, they may be more inclined to purchase. We do it every day when we walk into a store. They put the sell items up front. It's a beautiful, beautiful sweater, and springtime is coming, so you know they've got to clean it out, okay? And you walk by there, and it's half price. And it says it's going till Friday. You know what happens on Friday night? They take that stuff, and they don't care if they have to put it in the box. They're not going to compromise. Now, a couple of months later, when it's the middle of the summer, they may have a 10-cent sale, okay, and put it back on the streets. And that way they can get rid of all their inventory. You know, a lot of people do that right before when. When do most places clear all their inventory? Does anybody know? Does anybody know when the best sales of the year are? Anybody? First week of April. First week of April. What, does anybody know why? Because that's right. They got to get rid of that stuff because of taxes. Anything that's on their floor, they have to pay taxes on. It's the best time to buy cars because an auto dealer has to pay taxes for everything on his lot. When shoppers feel an opportunity is limited, they may be more inclined to purchase. You see it in retail store displays all the time. Often you'll see end of season sales that run for a week. The same can be applied to your digital products. Hey, John, this deal is only on for the next 48 hours. I need your decision. And if you call me on Friday, the deal's off. I just want you to know that. Because, John, I know that and there's nothing wrong with saying this stuff, okay? Let them know how you feel. It's a personal, intimate moment you're having with a client. John, I know you wouldn't compromise your values, and I don't compromise mine because it's not fair to my other customers. So that scarcity, put it in there. And don't be afraid to do it. You know, you may, let's say maybe you're having not such a good month, all right? And you wanted to sell 30 apps this month, and it's the 15th, and you've already only sold 5. So you know you want to get out there so you can get some recurring income, because to me, the recurring income is more important than the upfront money. So you want to get out there and you say, you know what, for the next 2 days, I'm going to go out and instead of selling this for $199, I'm going to go out and sell it for $99. All right. I'm going to go out and sell it for $99. And so you go out there and you say, hey, I've got this. You go back to some customers that you tried to close before. I wouldn't take it to new customers. Go back to customers that you tried to close before and say, hey, Don, this is what I'd like to do. I know we've talked about this before and it was a little bit over your price range. For the next 48 hours, I've got a special deal going and it's going to end after 48 hours. I'm going to let you have this app today for $99 one time. Just one time. And you go out and sell 4 or 5 that day. So you pick up $500. Okay. You made enough money to get you through another week. All right. You made enough money to get you to your next sales time and everything works out. Yeah. You compromise a little bit. You lost 500, but you made 500 that you wasn't making to begin with. But you go right back and that picks you right back up and it takes you right back on the top of the mountain where you wanted to be. All right. Scarcity is extremely powerful. Do not be afraid to use it. It's all the same. It doesn't matter if you have a website with a big red button that says buy now and or you got a big red button stuck on the front of your forehead that says buy now. It's all the same. What would happen if you closed 2 more sales a week? What would that do for your income? What would that do for your business? First off, and I'm going to say this again, if you're sitting here and you're not getting off your butt and you're not going out and working, don't ever call me crying, telling me what you can't do, because I'm telling you what you can't do. You can't get out and work. That's the bottom line. You can't get out and make it happen. Okay. So the first thing is you got to do is you got to go out there. All right. But then you got to close. I know sales is hard. Sales is very hard. That's why it pays so much. That's why the sales is the greatest paying job in the world, because it's not easy. So just get out there and talk to people. Try testing a few variations of closes and start right now. This is a Zig Ziglar thing, and I'm going to close this part of the training with this. Always be closing. Continually ask for the deal, even during the sale. Always test the waters and see where that person is at. Let me recommend you go out and get a couple of sales books. All right. And I'm not telling you this because of any political affiliations or anything else. If you want to read a great book, one of the greatest books I ever read in my life, that really, really, really changed the way I did things, okay, was The Art of the Deal. It's one of the greatest books ever written, no matter what you think of a person or not. The book itself is extremely good. Very, very good. Get some of Zig's books. Get some of Brian Tracy's books. Go get Joe Girard's books. Okay. Joe Girard was a superstar car salesman, and he's one of the most amazing closers in the world. Go get some of his books, and read, lay in bed at night like I do and listen to YouTube. It's all on YouTube. It's all for free. I'm going to share this with you real quick, and then we're going to go right in. I'm going to show you just a couple of things, and we're only going to be in the platform for a moment. I do a training called the 4 Principles to Becoming a Millionaire. Okay. And this goes, I don't care if you want to make $500 or $5 million. You've got to do this tonight. Number one, you've got to make a decision that you're going to go out and you're going to work hard and you're going to build your sales force. When I say build your sales force, I mean a sales force of one, as in you. You've got to make a decision that that's what you want to do and you want to make it happen and you want to earn $1 million. Don't go for $500,000. Go for the stars and shoot for $1 million. And if you make $500,000, be excited. If you make $250,000, be excited. If you make $50,000 extra this year, be excited. But you got to make a decision right now to do that. If you don't make a decision right now to do that, you're going to wait till tomorrow and the tomorrow and tomorrow, and the day will never come. And you got to make a commitment to yourself. The most important thing we can do in the world is make a commitment that we're going to do something. Don't say, I think I'm going to do it, because if you say you think you're going to do it, that's exactly what you're going to get. Thinking never got anything done. Make it happen. Just do it. You got to take action. Take action, get off your butt and walk out that door. And in the morning, when you get up, say, you know what? I'm going out to make a sale. I don't care if I have to sell it for $49. I'm fixing to actually go out and make my first sale, and I'm going to make a close. And I'm going to test that close, and I'm going to go to the next person, and then I'm going to make a $69 sale, and I'm going to test that close, and then I'm going to go make a $99 sale. And I'm going to test that close, and next thing you know, I'm making a $299 sale. But you got to take action to do that. You have to do it. And then share and help others. There's nothing any greater in this world than taking what you have, the success that you are having, and sharing and helping others. I'm not a giveaway person. Never have been, probably never will be. But I do give away apps every now and then. Okay? But I always make sure it's to someone who I truly feel that it can help. Just a couple of months ago, I gave an app to a hairdresser. She had just started in the business and she was struggling, didn't even have a business card on the counter. And, it was like, how are you getting customers? I don't know. I just got out of school. I'm just trying to get started here. And I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you. I came home and I built her business card. I put all the love I could possibly put into it because I wanted nothing more than her to be successful because that's what she wanted. It wasn't one of those deals where it was, oh, well, they'll come. She was doing everything she possibly could. And I took her that business card and I've never seen anybody so excited. She started crying just like I've cried now. That's why I'm crying because it was a very emotional deal. She started crying and she gave me a hug. She said, no one has ever done anything for me to help me get anywhere. And she said, I know now that I'm going to be successful. Did you know I built seven at full price mobile business cards? And I didn't do it to do that, but I built 7 mobile business cards because I helped that young lady, helped her put her business together. And we had some consultation and I normally charge for consultations and I didn't charge her anything. And she's got her business going and she's doing quite well. And I'm not saying it's because of the business card, but it's because someone believed in her and helped her. And she helped others by sharing her business card. And I wound up capitalizing on it. That's not the reason I did it, but I tell you, if you do things like that, it always comes back to you. So make a decision and make a decision right now. Make a commitment. You have to make a commitment. If you're not committed to yourself, nobody's going to be committed to you. Nobody wants to do anything with you because you can't make a commitment to yourself. Why would they want to make a commitment to a self? Take action, make it happen, and share and help others, period. With that said, I'm going to go into the platform real quick. Any questions real quick before I go to the platform? Can everybody go out and make a sale now and make a close? Absolutely. Absolutely. I know I'm ready to go out and sell right now. I might have to go into McDonald's and see if I can sell some French fries or something. I'm hungry. All right. We made a little change on the punch card. And let me show you here. We had some people say, you know what? I really wish I could go into this and kind of give my own message. But this is kind of like it was with the kiosk system. There's a couple of things in here that are code that actually picks up, okay? So right here, it says the app name, all right? And this is, I think it's the barbershop app. Yeah, Carry Barbershop. It's an app we built like forever ago. This hashtag app name, hashtag, that is code. If you take that out, it will not automatically put the app name there. So, you don't really have to change this right now. Activate your Carrier's Barbershop Digital Rewards card now. It's super simple. And this down here, you can change all of this information right here. You can put whatever you want here. Sign up and save, card to home screen, punch your digital card at every visit. Now see this right here where it says hashtag punches needed. You are entitled to. Punches required is this number right here. Okay. So this hashtag punches needed, hashtag punches in between here is this number right here, 5 punches. So this knows to put this number right here. If you take that out, you have to physically put that in there. All right. This hashtag reward comes from right here. All right. Comes from right here. Get a free haircut. So after 5 punches, you're entitled to a free haircut. So you can change that however you want to. You can put whatever text in there you want. I'll show you up here. I will show you the hashtag titles and stuff that I just showed you. Okay, here's Carrie's Barbershop. That's a hashtag app title. All right. After 5 punches, you're entitled to get a free haircut. This is the 5 punches right here, and this is the reward. It's automatically pulled up. So if you want to use the code, let me recommend that you take that. And I know somebody's going to text me and say, Carrie, what was that code? Take it and copy it and put it somewhere. Put it in your phone, put it on your computer, put it in a couple of different places so that you don't lose it. All right. That way, you know, and I would copy it exactly like it is. That way you see exactly how it's set up. But you can come in and change this text now. Okay. Where's the link to activate what? It's already activated. It's not there, is it? I'll have to tell Mark that tomorrow. He just finished this today. You're right. I didn't even see that. Surprise, surprise. Gomer Pyle. I have to, that must have came out when he took it. Did I save it a while ago? That could have been me. Allowed to be punched, any tab. Let me see here. Let me go in and do it. Save it. Preview, reload. Yep, it don't have the activation button on it, or it did it. That's a good catch there. That's a good catch. Yep. Let me make a copy of that real quick. And I'll send it to him right after training. All right. But that's a very good change. Very good change. And I'll shoot that to him after training. The next thing is, I'll buy you 2 pastrami sandwiches. The next thing is, and this has been changed for a while, but we had some people that are actually using this for kind of like a Craigslist type sales thing. So you're able to come in here and put an image now. People can reply. You can enable it or disable it. Force users to create an account before posting. So this was already there. You can make them create. But what you can do with this is make a little sales, like a garage sale type program out of this message board. And you can have them put an image up there. Then, you know, hey, call Carrie, lawnmower. It's $550. Must be a push mower. $550, like new. And then you can come up here, upload an image, enable. I'm just going to throw something in here. Allow upload image. And I'm going to upload an image. Let me just throw something in here real quick so y'all can see it. Let's see here. I got so much stuff. Let's see. I'll put this. I don't know if this image will show or not. It's a big image. It's actually one of Will Sims' images. It's not a picture of a lawnmower, I can tell you that. So we go up here to the whatever that's called, message board. I probably have to turn it on. Let me go in here and turn it on real quick. Yeah, I have you fix that. Yeah. Hey, I got on that new S9 that I bought. You can make cartoons of yourself, emojis. And so I made an emoji of myself today. Looked pretty good, I think. I was looking good. I didn't turn some. I've never used, I will be honest with you, I've never used this. Mark was just telling me about this yesterday. I've never actually used this system, so I'm not sure here. I think I have to turn it on. Oh, yeah. Show a link on the web app. But this is a cool idea to use this as a little sales page, a little community sales, whatever you call that, like a Craigslist or yard sales, or, you know, some places have those little papers you can put up. There you go. Lawnmower, $550 like new. And there's the image. Create a post. Now you can fix this to where they have to sign up, but they don't have to sign up, upload. They can upload a photo here, and they can create their post, and they can do it all right online. It's really cool. Really cool. But some people got with Mark and asked him, if said they were setting up these sales, community sales boards or whatever. And it works out really well. And so they can upload the image and everything right here from within the app. Oh, yeah, there's a million things you could do with this. Of course, you can change the name. I don't remember who was asking me a while ago about the color in the apps and all that. That's all this is right here. Is this was simply a, matter of fact, I'll build this app again next week. This is simply a generic template. Put in the information, put a black background in, change the background to black, and took these browns right here and colored these buttons. Didn't touch anything. I never touch anything. Yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm not. And I know people will do that. Let's see. People can reply. Allowed to upload an image, force users to create an account before. Yeah, you definitely have to watch it if in case somebody did something like that, put something dirty in there. You know how people are. They don't care. We live in a tough world. Any more questions? Anybody? All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We only went 9 minutes over. And I hope that everybody got something out of the close. I've been asked about it about 20 times this past 2 weeks. So I wanted to share that. And that's 9 out of 10 times. That's what the problem is closing. So absolutely, Rick, close that person you was talking about a while ago. Martha, take care of yourself now. If you're traveling back and forth, know that we love you. I think about you often. All right, everybody. Have a good night. God bless. And I am going to dinner. My little dog's going to be upset with me. Y'all have a good night.